The government shutdown. That's what I'd like to talk about today. I have a solution. I think what the Republicans should do is they should say to Obama and to Reid, hey, open the insurance exchanges. Let anyone sign up who wants to. But for this year, let it be voluntary. You're not ready to put in a mandatory yet. Everything is too confused. We don't know what we're doing. You don't even have the ability really to enforce the mandatory. You don't know the income of the people who are applying. There's no verification. You're planning to use the honor system. You can't tell if the people who are applying already have health insurance. You don't have a way of checking that. You've delayed the mandate for employers to cover. So anyone who wants it can have it, but it's not mandatory. Now, that will probably kill Obamacare because nobody's going to sign up. They're going to give a war and nobody's going to come. And it'll become very clear what a failure it is. It'll almost be like a public opinion poll among people who are uninsured, allegedly the goal of the program, the people who are supposed to be helped by the program, and they won't sign up. So it'll be pretty clear that they don't want it and aren't much interested. But politically and rhetorically, if the Republicans say, hey, it's open, you're invited, but we won't make you do it for a year, that element of coercion, I think, is a very unpopular one. I think the left hates coercion as well as the right. So I think that would be a very good plan to offer today. You know, I'm struck as we look at this shutdown at the contrast between the way President Boehner, that was Freudian, President Obama's handling it and the way President Clinton handled it. President Clinton spent his life on the telephone during that period, shoring up his Democrats, trying to get the Republicans to negotiate. Every single day there were talks with him and Gingrich and Dole, Republicans at that point controlled both houses, and there was a constant effort by the president to probe for a solution to the problem. And ultimately, he came up with one. And the government was reopened and shut down again, but then reopened. And ultimately, it led to a budget deal that solved the deficit problem entirely and led to a balanced budget a year later. It also inaugurated a period of working together with Congress that led to the passage of welfare reform later in that year. So, even though it was a presidential election year. So I think that this is so indicative of the arrogance, the isolation, the laziness, the self-absorption, the self-indulgence of this president. And I'm not sure it's going to look too good as this process unfolds. Nevertheless, I think we have to bring it to a hasty conclusion. I think people hate the idea of a government shutdown. It's going to become pretty apparent in the next day or two that not much is shut down. You can't go to the Statue of Liberty and you can't go see a bear in Yosemite, but you can do pretty much anything else. All of the checks go out because those are entitlements not funded by vote of Congress. And the House has done the key thing, and Obama the key thing that we needed, which is they've passed a bill and Obama has signed it, permitting the military to be paid during this, active duty military. So the edge of this is really not there, and I think there's not going to be the outrage that the media thinks might be there. But nevertheless, this is not good for the Republican Party. We don't look good in doing this shutdown. It prejudices our ability to fight over the debt limit. But I think maybe the solution I'm proposing here is the way to go. Thanks a lot. By the way, I ought to just mention that this week we're coming out with a new book for children, for actually teenagers, 11, 12, 13 years old, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, both in school and also in particular for homeschoolers. It's kind of a textbook on how the government operates and what the presidency is all about. You know, I've actually been there for some time, and I think it would be useful to share those insights, but in a way in which younger teenagers could really relate. So we tell the story of the government passage of welfare reform in 1996, and it's told in a really humorous way with really funny charts and cartoons and illustrations. And I think your kids may enjoy it. You may enjoy it. So order it from Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The book is called What It's Like to Be President. What It's Like to Be President. Thanks.